My name's Conrad Sandbacka. I'm a tattoo artist. I've been tattooing for 13 years in Toronto, and I work at 600 Bay Street Tattoo. It's located right at Bay and Dundas, right downtown, right across from the Eaton Centre. A little bit tucked away, which I kind of like. The style I tattoo in now, mostly American traditional and Japanese traditional designs. A lot of big cats, a lot of snakes, warriors, stuff like that. Definitely like more like powerful, aggressive imagery. So I'm tattooing my buddy Jake today. He's just gonna pick something out of the book. We've done a lot of tattoos on him. It's always nice to see him and to do another one. That one was kind of cool. I saw like broken on you.
That is sick, yeah.
Fun.
Dude, I like, yeah. I'm easy, like, cause like I also have this whole leg.
I think the first tattoo I ever saw was on my uncle, and he was like, kind of bikery kind of dude. He had this skull on his wrist that had like a cigarette hanging out of its mouth and it just said "Born to Smoke," and like something about that is still probably the coolest tattoo I've ever seen in my life, but that was probably the first one I ever saw. I knew I'd always kind of wanted to have my own space at some point in time. It's a city like Toronto. It's not a particularly cheap place to open up anything. And I just happened to find this unit. I had been tattooing at a shop called Sugoi Tattoo for about 7 years prior to that. But there, came a point in time where it was kind of like, okay, I think I want to spread my wings. I grew up in kind of a small town, like kind of around the GTA. I was really into like music and graffiti and stuff like that. So that was kind of a big influence in tattooing. Both my parents are like entrepreneurs. My dad's side of the family's had a construction company for a long time. My mom's line of work is very similar. So I think that kind of definitely encouraged me to pursue kind of my own sort of pathway, so to speak. Neither of my parents have any tattoos or anything like that. They're super supportive of it, but it's definitely not their thing. When I got my first tattoo, I was 18. I got a tattoo on my foot. It was a rose for a family member that had passed away. And then like shortly after that, it just was kind of off to the races. Like I think I got my entire leg done within like a summer. It was definitely the stepping stone to getting into it, was just getting tattooed a lot. I didn't really have a ton of direction at that point in time. I was kind of just, for lack of a better word, just kind of fucking around, and like I didn't really have a job per se, you know what I mean? So I was clearly obsessed with it because I was getting tattooed so much, and I thought, why not try to give it a shot? I actually went to a shop with a friend of mine who was getting tattooed by a guy there, actually my friend Paul, who works here now. And my friend was getting tattooed by Paul, and I asked him if I could bring in my paintings just so I could show him, just to kind of take a look. And so I brought my paintings in and showed him. And it wasn't like I was asking for an apprenticeship or anything like that, but he definitely took a look and, gave me a suggestion of a shop that might be open to hiring people and giving apprenticeships, and, said like, hey, if they're looking for somebody, you'll know pretty quick. So I went over there, and it was within a week or so I'd gotten a phone call saying, hey, you can come in, start scrubbing the floors. It was a pretty like old school kind of place. So it was definitely that kind of vibe. Second I got the opportunity to be in a shop, I was there every day as much as I could be. That was probably like boot camp, really, so to speak. It was so busy. There was like just tons of people coming in the door. Like it really gave me the opportunity as a new tattooer to honestly like make, it sounds bad, but like as many mistakes as I could in that early stage, because I think when you start tattooing, you just need to tattoo a lot. Having that massive influx of walk-ins and people that just really wanted to get tattooed right now, and they've got, at the time our minimum I think was $50 or something like that, so it was, next to nothing. I've worked in a few busy street shops in my career, and you just see every walk of life, every type of person, you know, and then you deal with all sorts of different personalities and stuff. And that's like, you know, one of the most important parts of the job, you know, is just being able to find common ground with everybody, you know, in a way, or at least I try my best to.
Put enough money down that I'm really...
I get a lot of enjoyment out of you know, starting the big pieces. The larger work, it's something really cool when somebody sees a painting that you did and then they're like, oh, I just want to get that on my back or something like that. It's like pretty amazing. It's also great because you've already kind of planned it out, you know, so it makes it a little bit easier. Completing big work, or you know, even small stuff, you know, just making stuff that looks fun and seeing people excited about it, you know, it's pretty awesome. Being your own boss, I mean, I've kind of operated pretty freely for the majority of my career. Most of the people that I worked for, like, they're pretty comfortable with like kind of letting you run your own business out of the shop. So I always kind of was able to kind of control my own schedule and do my own bookings and stuff like that. But actually having to, you know, manage the bills and all that stuff, you know, it's a different game all on its own. I think anyone who's tried to start a business, you know, understands like the complications that come with that. But there's also something super satisfying about knowing that it's like, it's yours and, you know, you can make it whatever you want it to be.